back to speed here. Let's take up the Trisha Tepfer sentencing. Mr. George, good morning.
Good morning.
This is file 252085. SM, People versus Trisha Marie Tepfer. That's you, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You were charged with domestic violence second offense. The matter as charged was punishable by up to a year in jail, fine of up to $1,000. I also lost my on base. The matter was reduced for a plea to domestic violence first offense. There was a bond violation in the pendency of this case, and you did 8 days in jail for that. The matter did result in a plea, and the matter was set for sentencing today. Trying to get my case open here.
Honor, if I may just ask the court, both Mr. George and myself have a record in our files that it was a domestic violence second offense plea.
Well, let's take a look, because I haven't opened it up yet. I was going from memory. On December 8th, which was the first Friday of the month, I think in December, no, it was a Monday morning, she pled to domestic violence second by no contest. I gave her 8 days jail credit, 8 days for the bond violation, let her out and set the matter for sentencing on domestic violence second. I allowed the reestablishment of the $400 bond, indicated she could be released pending sentence. I got the police report and let an opportunity for additional victim input. She did 8 days for the bond violation, and I believe she did 4 days at the front end. She was arrested on the 10th and she bonded on the 14th. So I think there's a total of 12 days credit. All right, with that being said, Mr. George, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. And just kind of adding on to that, just to make sure, because I believe Ms. Canfield was out when we entered the plea, but I believe that the communication that we had was she entered a plea to the domestic violence second. There was a recommendation of time served with probation.
That's what my notes reflect.
And I think we did get an update from Tiffany Howe last week that my client's enrolled in pretrial services and she continues to update and communicate with the office. I know the court can see her this morning and she looks well. I think she's in a good place. Your Honor, at its core, I believe that this is a tumultuous relationship that is probably on thin ice. I know my client has to make a decision how to move forward with that, but I believe that a supervision would be beneficial in this case. No matter what, there have been, multiple issues between these parties. I'm not saying they're all my clients, but there's got to be a better way to handle life stressors than to get into some type of altercation and end up with one person being in custody. So I think that there's programming that would be available probably on the anger management side that would be beneficial to my client. It would also continue this court supervision to make sure that she's doing what she needs to do, that there aren't any further issues. I would defer to the court on how appropriate the no contact order is at this time. This was the marital home. My client does continue to have items there. So there's going to be, if there is some movement on, some type of dissolution of this marriage, my client's going to have to be able to get into that home and there have to be arrangements that would be made, but we would defer to the court on that. Thank you. Well,
that is an issue, and it always is. They're married, and they've been married for 10 years, and this set of circumstances prohibits her from going to her own house. And as far as I can tell, no one has actually filed for a divorce or a claim for exclusive possession of the home. And so that is an issue that we're going to need to address. Ms. Canfield, what's your thought here?
Your Honor, I know Ms. Ackerman has spoken with Randy Tupfer, who has authorized her to make a statement on his behalf. So I would ask that the court allow that. With respect to the underlying offer, it is accurate. It was a recommendation of 24 months of probation with domestic violence counseling, which I think is appropriate. I might have asked for some additional jail time because of the defendant's record. I do see convictions from 2013, 2014, and then January of this year, which is concerning to me. I think that recommendation came from Ms. Stoll with the underlying circumstance of this particular incident not having severe injuries, things of that nature. The repetitive conduct obviously is what's leading to the downfall of the marriage and the divorce that's going to be pending or is pending at this time. But I do think that the counseling and supervision would be helpful and appropriate to get her through the divorce pendency, hopefully without any more incidents and coming before this court again. I know that I do have concerns for Mr. Tupfer's safety. So I'll let Ms. Ackerman speak to his wishes with respect to that. I myself personally would recommend that there be some sort of no contact, but for a pickup of personal property and or communications regarding the divorce, but I believe he does wish to have communication and contact with her.
Ms. Ackerman, good morning. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Kendra Ackerman.
All right, and you've got a message from Mr. Tepfer?
Yes, he called this morning. He's unable to attend the sentencing today because he had to work. It is his wish that the bond be modified to allow him and Trisha to have contact with one another, to be able to speak, to be able to spend time with each other, as well as her continuing with counseling. He also asks that she receive no additional jail time.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tepfer, and I have a message for Randy Tepfer. You got unpaid traffic tickets. Please come in and pay them. I'm aware of you and Randy's relationship. Mr. George is right. You look good today. Nobody looks too good after sitting in jail for 8 days, which is how I saw you the last time. You're still staying with your father in Burr Oak?
Yes.
This has been a tumultuous relationship. On the day that you got arrested back in October, it was near your 10th anniversary. You had some wedding stuff out on the table, and Randy was angry and dumped all the stuff off the table. He claims you just leave for days at a time. He doesn't know where you are or what you're doing or who you're with. You have a different view of it. Anyway, he dumped all the stuff off the table. You threw what was listed as a mailbox, hit him in the middle of the back. The police came and they took you to jail. And you've been prohibited from going to your house essentially since then, although you went back anyway and ended up doing 8 days in jail for that. So as I indicated, you did 4 days at the front end and 8 days. Have either of you started a divorce?
Yes, I did file.
All right. Do you have an attorney?
No, sir. We don't have anything to fight over, really.
Okay.
For as far as the mortgage goes, I'm on everything, and I'm on the deed, and the only thing I have to do for the house, if we decide to divorce, is just get divorced, and then I'm off there, and I have to come up here to do the deed thing. That's it. If we do go through with it all.
Well, the mortgage and the deed are two different things. You can sign your interest.
I'm not on it. I'm not on the loan. I'm on the mortgage.
All right, well,
The bank.
all right, so let's say you both co-signed to buy this house for $1 million. And then you sign your interest in the house over to him, so he owns the house, but you made an agreement with the bank to pay on the loan.
Mhm.
So simply signing your interest off in the house may not remove your interest on the loan unless the bank removes you.
Yeah, I'm not on the loan. That's the one thing.
All right, you're not on the loan. Okay, so you're willing to just give the house to him.
Correct, yes.
As Mr. George said, you've done a good job on pretrial services. I think 8 days in jail got your attention here.
Oh, yeah.
But if it's this bad for everybody, you each need to go in a different direction.
Mhm.
So I'm going to follow what everybody asked. I'm going to do a 12-month probation for which you could be discharged at the end of 6 months. I'm ordering 24 days in jail credit 14. Of the 24 days, 10 are deferred. So you're not going to do any additional jail time if you do what I ask you to do. Well, I got some jail hung over your head. The fine is $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, a $150 attorney fee, and a $480 probation oversight fee. You're not eligible for a deferral, so I'm not going to send you to the Women's Anger Management. I think you already did it once. Randy's had some issues in his past, but I didn't see that he was ever charged with an assaultive offense. I know you contend there's been back and forth, but the person before me here is you. The fine and cost from the state is $125 plus $150 for your attorney fee and $480 for your probation oversight fee, which is $755. That's due in 1 year. And if you do it in 6 months, take $240 off of it. You are to engage in no assaultive or threatening behavior, no drugs, and no alcohol. Test as directed, including marijuana. To abstain from the use of any alcohol or any controlled substance, including marijuana, which is lawful for adults to use for recreational purposes, but when we have people on probation, we do a big timeout. He wishes to allow contact, and I guess you need to have contact to resolve your divorce. I am going to indicate you may not reside at the Vicky Drive address.
Sure, well, he's not, I mean, like, stay there, or,
You can visit there.
like, because when he's gone, I usually go in, and that's why I get to see the cat, my therapy.
All right, you talked about the cat. You can't move in there without order of the court. But you can have contact, you can go there.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, stranger things have happened. Maybe you'll reconcile and live happily ever after. I don't know. But going to jail isn't fun for anybody. Have you found employment?
Currently, no. I do have some medical things going on in my hand. For instance, I did not get the surgery that I was supposed to get. So now they have to re-break it, and it'll be a bigger thing. So my hands are kind of not usable at the time. I can do little jobs. I've been helping clean side jobs, but nothing as far as getting a job yet.
Well, you're in a stable housing situation with your dad. And thank you for that. Who was your probation officer last time?
Autumn?
All right, we'll try it again. You got to keep it together. No assault or threatening behavior, no drugs or no alcohol. You can't move back into that residence unless I allow it.
Okay.
But you can certainly go out to lunch, you can go to breakfast, you can go to the movies, you can go over there and have dinner, but I don't want you to move your stuff in there. And if you do get divorced, well, hopefully it can be as amicable as possible. But you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, that